Call of the December 8th, 2025 Village Board meeting in order. Please stand for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will Clerk Treasurer please call the roll?
Mayor Schroeder,
Here.
Trustee Michaely,
Here.
Trustee O'Brien.
Here. Okay, minutes of the meeting dated November 24th. We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Trustee Michaely,
Second.
second by Trustee O'Brien. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Abstract of audited vouchers.
I move that the treasurer be authorized to pay from the vouchers all the claims against the general sewer trust, capital equipment reserves, community development, and special repair reserve funds for the period from November 25th, 2025 to December 8th, 2025. Further, that the report of the Finance Committee be accepted from the abstract of the audited vouchers, and that all claims were paid against the general fund in the amount of $469,200.05. Sewer fund in the amount of $66,554.25. Trust fund in the amount of $450.12. Capital fund in the amount of $87,229.82, for a total of $623,434.24 for the period from November 11th, 2025 to November 24th, 2025.
We have a motion by Trustee O'Brien,
Second.
second by Trustee Michaely. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Listed correspondence, we have two pieces of listed correspondence this evening. First is from the Town of Lancaster Building Department, providing a report of building permit applications, open complaints, inspection, and expired permits that were filed for the properties within the Village of Lancaster from November 13th, 2025 to November 25th, 2025.
Motion to receive and file.
We have a motion to receive and file by Trustee Michaely.
Second.
Second by Trustee O'Brien. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Second piece of correspondence is from Key Capture Energy, providing notice of its intent to submit a bid for its proposed battery energy storage project in response to NYSERDA's upcoming request for proposals for long-term contracts to purchase index storage credits, ISCs.
Motion to receive and file.
We have a motion by Trustee O'Brien to receive and file.
Second.
Second by Trustee Michaely. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Then we would move on to resolutions. We have four this evening. The first resolution is to schedule a public hearing in the council chambers on Monday, December 22nd, 2025 at 7:15 PM to allow members of the public to provide feedback on the 2025 Village of Lancaster and Village of Depew Joint Comprehensive Plan, and further to direct Clerk Treasurer Stegmeyer to advertise this public hearing per normal procedures.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Trustee O'Brien.
Second.
Second by Trustee Michaely to approve. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Second resolution is authorizing myself as mayor to sign and approve modification number 1 to the agreement with NYSERDA related to a Clean Energy Communities Program grant for the purpose to update and revise Exhibit A Statement of Work revised as of November 24, 2025.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Trustee O'Brien.
Second.
Second by Trustee Michaely. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Third resolution is to authorize myself as mayor to sign, execute, and submit an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Erie for funding in the amount of $40,500 towards the installation of an ADA crosswalk on Clark Street, along with the requirement documentation per the terms of the agreement.
Motion, did you receive?
We have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second by Trustee Michaely.
Second.
by Trustee O'Brien. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. And again, this is, money is coming through the efforts of Erie County Legislator Frank Todaro. Fourth resolution is to approve the proposal from TechNet MSP in the amount of $5,900 for the purchase of a two-door access system for the municipal building on an emergency basis to upgrade the existing key fob system, which is currently inaccessible, to make edits or manage users due to a damaged connection, along with the outdated hardware and unsupported software.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Trustee Michaely to approve.
Second.
Second by Trustee O'Brien. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All right, this is the portion of the meeting that's reserved for audience participation and is our village guidelines. Anyone wishing to address the village board this evening, please raise your hand to be recognized by the mayor or his or her designee. State your name and address. Speak directly to the village board only using the microphone provided. Speak once for 3 minutes or less unless extended by the mayor or his or her designee. Any unruly activity, including yelling, name-calling, or requests for personal information will not be tolerated. The audience member misbehaving in such a manner may have his or her opportunity to speak summarily terminated. Is there anyone who would wish to address the village board this evening?
All right. Hello, Tom Sweeney, 11 West Main Street in Lancaster. Just a couple of notes. I wanted to thank the village board, all the trustees, for the fantastic events that we've had the last couple of weekends in the village. The village is really becoming a destination. We see a lot of people coming down here. Definitely, obviously, we're filling up parking lots regularly, which is long awaited. So very excited. Great job to Wayne and his crew on the services for the DPW. I mean, the streets are cleaned and salted regularly. It's just an amazing job. One other thing I wanted to reiterate, and we talked a little bit as part of the work session that I heard earlier, is the importance of the stair-stepping garden, that we keep that open, both for our merchants that use that regularly, and also that lower parking lot is becoming more and more important. So that is very much appreciated. I know it's a lot of work. I just want to express our appreciation for that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. There's no one else who wishes to address the village board and audience participation. We'll go into committee follow-up. We'll begin with finance and claims. Trustee O'Brien?
So we received 6 responses to our RFQ for municipal engineering services. Trustee Miller and I narrowed it down to 4 firms. We'd like to invite them out to the village to present their qualifications in person. So to do that, I would like to make a motion to schedule a meeting at 1 p.m. on January 14th, 2026, that will go immediately into executive session to review interviews from the selected firms.
Okay, motion by trustee O'Brien,
Second.
second by trustee Michael. Under the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
And that's it for finance and claims.
Okay, Public Works, Chairman Michael.
Just 2 things. As I mentioned in the work session, the stairways that Mr. Sweeney just talked about, it's new to us this year because we've never had those stairs when there was a building open. And I realized, yeah, people do use them a lot. So we'll do the best we can we will maintain them. And it's just something additional that your guys are going to have to deal with. And sorry about that, but it's, I know it's not easy, but something we got to do. And then the other thing I brought up in the work session is that we're going to find a way that the best way that we can illuminate our flags, American flags at nighttime. U.S. flags should be illuminated. Probably going to start off with a solar system for at least one of them to see how it looks, because the solar ones are from up top as opposed to being down below. Get that done, though. It's just something that's going to be, it's kind of been on the back burner and something to look at, and hopefully we'll see some changes soon. That's all I have.
Anything for Chairman Michael? Not building lights and codes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, public safety. Again, we approved a motion for the work with the ADA crosswalk on Clark Street lot, and this will enable people to safely cross from that Clark Street parking lot to the Opera House, or if they're, wanting to cross to go get to New York. So that's definitely a good thing, and we can just put a watch on that. And other than that, I have nothing else for public safety. And Chairman Michael, building lights and codes, please.
Thank you. Just, I'll say it a little more briefly than I did during the work session. First thing that we're working on right now is a signage update to the code. We've got a committee that has already met, and we need to reestablish signage regulations for the mixed-use district. And while doing that, we're going to take some recommendations that Attorney Herzig had made several years ago to correct some things in the code that really aren't necessary. For example, right now, per code, every signed permit should come before this board and be approved by this permit. That should be something that's more of an administrative thing and doesn't need to come before this board. So stay tuned for that. It's probably going to be till the end of January before something happens with that. Secondly, we're working on modifications to the tree code. The tree code is only a few years old. A few years ago, the village had codified a few things, including the types of trees that should be established, that should be planted. Amy Sippa did a great job earlier this year of having suggested some changes, and I met with her, and right now, it's also before the Forest Advisory Committee, who will give their input, and then eventually we'll give it to Art, and after that, bring it to the village board. And then we discussed a little bit in the work session, we're going to have a new fob system soon, and I think it's a good time that we should look at who gets these fobs. In my opinion, well, and the new system is going to be, we'll have access not only from fobs, but also through telephones, through cell phones. We'll be able to use our cell phones with an app to get access to the building. I'm of the mindset that access in off hours should only be granted to village employees, fire department, and when I say employees, I mean including our commissions and committees, our zoning board, of course, and planning commission, historic commission. For years, the village has always had a, I don't even know if it's a process, but a way of allowing different community groups to meet here, and we've just given them fobs. When we talked about this a few months ago, when I brought this up, we said, okay, if we're going to change it, now would be a good time. You know, when we change the fob system would be a good time, and that time is going to come up real soon, like in the next few weeks. I'm still personally of the mindset as we can allow community groups to use our building when they sign up for our meeting space during the day. I think it's a security issue to allow groups that we don't know exactly who's here to have unfettered access during the weekend, during the evenings. I've been here at times on a weekend, and you come and there's people meeting in the building, you don't know who they are. So that's a discussion I wanted to have. So I know we have two board members who aren't here tonight, and that's why I did send out an email today, but that's my opinion, is that we would have to stop what we've been doing and just giving out keys to everyone. And I wouldn't want to do it without giving them proper notice. With a new system, I think we could give them a code that would give them, whether it's 30 or 60 days access, but hopefully help them find some other meeting space as well. That's all I have.
Okay, anything for Chairman Michael? Not Human Resources, Chairman Malone Schaefer is not here this evening. Community events, Tammy did ask me to mention the New Year's Eve celebration, the ball drop at midnight. I believe they're going to get started about 10 o'clock right down here on Central Avenue. I don't know all the things that she has planned, but hopefully it's not a bad night and we can get a good crowd out there. It's, again, it was an event that started several years ago. I think I dropped the first ball out of the bucket truck down on West Main Street, and it's been going on ever since then. So it's a very popular event, and hopefully we see everybody there. Economic development, I have nothing this evening for economic development. Sewer, Chairman Michaely.
All I have is that we do have a sewer committee meeting next Monday, the 15th, and the agenda is to discuss the Watts report, which we were given last week, which was the investigation into mini systems 4 and 7. Updates after that.
Okay, anything for Chairman Michaely? Grants, Chairman O'Brien.
Just a couple things tonight. In regards to the ZEV grant for the EV charging station, level 3 down in Kageway Creek Park, Bill Shutt and his team are reviewing the bids, and I expect a resolution to be in front of the board for our next meeting to proceed forward with that. In regards to the Pocket Park next to this building, I'm going to reach out to our consulting firm on that and arrange a meeting with the owner of Picasso's to sit down and talk about the dumpster and determine the best way to move forward with that, the location of that. Additionally, we've been having conversations with the DOT about the TAP grant and the Central Avenue streetscape upgrades. I have a meeting with them next week to continue working through that process. There was a resolution tonight in regards to the North End, or in regards to the upgrades to the North End Fire Hall, which are actually started already, you said. It turns out the cost for those upgrades was a bit more than we anticipated, so we're just moving money around within the grant to offset those costs. And finally, as I mentioned in the work session, I'll just say it again briefly right now. I sat down with Supervisor Nowak and Mayor Peterson last week, and at this point, we're in agreement that the Heritage Trail project, extension project, will be on hold as we look for additional sources of funding. The financial burden was just a bit too much to take on for each of the municipalities involved. And that is it for grants.
Okay, anything for Chairman O'Brien?
It was good to see in the, I saw the numbers, speaking of the EV, that the usage significantly.
Yeah, it's, I think it's a number of reasons. I think people are, it's on the map, so people see it when they're traveling through. And people are just used to coming here now to,
Yeah.
and they know it's there. We did work with the DOT to put some signage up on Broadway that directs people down. So if you're driving by, not looking for a charger, but you might see a sign and know next time you're coming through that there's a charger. And to be honest, there's a lot to do in the village now. Like, there's times where I come down here for a meeting or to maybe, you know, just usually a meeting, to be honest, if I'm coming down here. I'll park down there and plug in, just because it's right there, and I can just walk across the street and come to this building, and for however long I'm here, I'm charging. And I think once the level 3 charger gets installed, the usage will skyrocket, because those are still rare enough around here that it becomes a destination. I know, using my wife's EV, traveling back from Lyons this summer, we stopped at one of the rest areas on the thruway, and the level 3 chargers are fast enough that you're not waiting for hours, but they're quick enough you can have lunch. So we had lunch, you know, and just, you know, and by the time we were done eating, it was topped up enough that we could get the rest of the way home. And I can see that happening here. And it's just another reason to come to the village and stop at Papi Grande's or wherever, and, you know, have a meal and or do some shopping while you're here.
All right. Very good. And then, Climate Smart.
Yeah, I'll just mention that the village, I think we put it on the website today, it's our 7th year in a row to earn our Tree City certification. Our DPW and some volunteers earlier this year planted over 250 trees in the village, and you said 300 next year? Over 300?
A little under 300.
Yeah, 300 next year. And it's just great to see, and I know, talking to our village arborists, that the trees are doing great. They're thriving, so we will continue that. We've got, over the next 2 years, 2.5 years, I think?
2.5 years.
Yeah, we've got a lot more trees to plant. Yeah, 600 more trees to plant. So I appreciate you guys getting out there. And I know in the fall, you planted it in like 2 days, when you've given yourselves 10, and you
Right.
planted it in 2, which was awesome. And that's it for Climate Smart.
Okay. We'll go to department head reports. We'll begin with Superintendent of Public Works.
Just to say that plowing is going well, salting is fine, and the only question I want to say is people got to start parking. The ban is, you know, it's lifted, so we have to park in its driveways, because it's getting a little bit out of hand for us, and we don't want to keep calling officers to ticket cars, so I just want people to start parking in their driveways.
Okay, and we did reinstitute.
Yes,
the
we did
parking there, but
reinstitute it,
it's
it has
not
been
being enforced.
posted, you know, and that was the first
Yeah.
anyway, so we're way past that, and there's still parking in the streets, so we'd like that to be fixed.
Okay,
Other than that, everything's going pretty good.
good. Yeah, I haven't gotten a single complaint. And I didn't get any complaints about leaves this year. Our leaves were picked up. I mean, it's unusual that somebody didn't have a comment, but absolutely none. So that's a kudos to the DPW. You guys are right on top of everything, and I appreciate that. Clerk Treasurer Stegmeyer.
Thank you. Just as I mentioned during the work session, that the county's looking to use our North End Fire Hall as a polling location for county elections going forward, again, starting next year. So they're looking into that, and they'll be stopping out this Wednesday to take a look.
Okay, anything for Mike? Not, code enforcement?
What I did not mention in the work session, thank you for breaking the ice. We definitely are in the winter season, so plowing, sidewalks, snow storage, please be mindful of our municipality. The curb lawn is meant for the snow storage of the street snow. Driveways and sidewalks, please store that on private property. Please shovel the sidewalks. So for anybody that's listening tonight or cares to listen, that's pretty much the discussion that we'll have from now until springtime when the grass starts to grow. Please shovel the sidewalks.
Okay, anything for Matt? Not Chief Kukaleka?
We had 37 calls in November, so we're at 372 through November for the year, on pace for a little over 400, so a little down from last year, which is always a good thing. 3,500 hours in drills and training for the year. Our department physicals, we have this Saturday and also this evening, our annual physicals. We'll be at the New Year's Eve ball drop this year. And then a couple of thank yous, one to the DPW for the work they've done this year and also continue to do both North End Fire Hall and then also working on the line officer's closet this past couple of weeks. And also to PD for their assistance on multiple calls throughout the year. It's always great working with them throughout the year. That's all I have.
Okay. Nope, very good, Chief. Thank you so much for all your help. Captain Smith.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. Attorney Herzig.
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Is there anything else to come before the village board this evening?
I'll just toss out there with the snow removal conversation, please dig out your hydrants on your street, even if there's not one in front of your house. You know, like the couple minutes it takes you to do it when your house isn't on fire is saving our firefighters those minutes if they have to respond to a call. So it takes just a few minutes. They're all marked now. They got the flags on there, so they're easy to find. Just get in there with a shovel and give them a good clear out.
Spent many a night on a pumper, stopping at hydrants, shoveling them out. And so it's definitely appreciated, and could be you're the one that's in need. If there's no other business to come before the board, I'd like to ask the board to stand and close in memory of some village residents who had passed away. Kathy Pastrick, she's a member of Lancaster Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary, and her husband's a member of the fire department. A longtime neighbor of mine, Lorraine Darcy, Narletta Call, who was very active in village and town affairs for many, many years, and Deborah Wilczak. Please stand in a moment of silence. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Have you ever seen art over the years you've been coming?